Artists, today we are going to use a printmaking technique to create artwork that shows architecture. Architecture is basically how buildings are designed. When you think of architecture, I want you to think about how different houses and buildings kind of look different depending on how the architect designed them. Today we're going to be actually stamping some items to create our architecture. So we might use cardboard or old pieces of plastic that have a nice flat edge. We might be using some round shapes like bottle caps, and we're just using black paint today. So what I want you thinking about is how are you going to build some architecture? How are you going to create your buildings using line and circles? When you are creating your architecture, you can use any length of lines. You can have long ones, short ones. The only rule is that you dip the edge into your black paint. We have to get some of the extra off. And then you're going to start stamping. So if I wanted a tall building here in the middle, there's one line. If I'm thinking about the top of the building, you could go with a shorter or smaller line. And then I can use my short tool, and I can just kind of repeat it instead of using a long tool. You can use these shapes to stamp any way that you want. If you have a really small one, you can use it for windows. So here's one way I could create a window in my building. You can also use circles. If you wanted to create some circles on your buildings, you can do that as well. You're going to do the same exact thing. You're going to just dip whatever tool you're using to create to stamp into the black paint and adding that to your buildings. And I want you to continue until you have a nice area of architecture on your paper. When you are finished creating your buildings, when you are done designing them, these have to go into the drying rack to dry so that we can add some more color next time we see each other.